Hey, OGL 350. Welcome to Module 4. It's Monday, September 13th, about 2 o'clock. This is going to be another interesting one. This class is really challenging me, as I know it's challenging a lot of you, and I think it's a very good thing. So let's get right to it. I like doing a little bit of housekeeping and lecturing, whatever, before I get into the nuts and bolts of a particular module. A link I got from ASU today. You may or may not have seen this. I'll provide it in the announcement. ASU named Most Innovative University 7 years running by U.S. News and World Report. That's a big deal. We've gotten that 7 years in a row as being most innovative. It's a feat born of a long history of creative reimagining, along with a healthy dose of tenacity and resilience through a period filled with obstacles and uncertainty. That describes every one of us, doesn't it? A healthy dose of tenacity and resilience through a period filled with obstacles and uncertainty. Good work. So I have that, and then this is an interesting thing. I'm going to include this. This is what I'm calling an extra credit opportunity. As you may or may know, depending on if you follow what you follow, popular culture, there was I'll call him a young man named Michael K. Williams who passed away last week. And he was in The Wire, a number of other shows. There's a video, it was on Twitter.
You think I'm being typecast? I don't know. This cat is typecast.
He's having a discussion.
It's a fucking cat, dude.
He's having a discussion with himself. It's 2 minutes, 20 seconds long, and it's fascinating. It was done, I don't know how long ago, but he's talking to different versions of himself on getting typecast as a black man. If you ever see Michael K. Williams, he's got a scar across his face and everything, and he's fairly dark skinned, and obviously he fits the mold then of a particular stereotype in popular culture, right? He was a very caring man. He was a fabulous actor. Somebody said an effing legend, and he worked closely with the community and the police department in New York City. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a link to this. Now, I'm going to try to find it off of Twitter because I don't know if this is on my timeline or whatever, but I'll couple links in there. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like an extra credit opportunity, I'd like you to write a page, at least a page, analysis of this video in terms of race, bigotry, prejudice, stereotyping. And maybe, I'm going to let you decide, but, we're not actors here. It's not acting class. But acting is an occupation, right? Acting, we've seen some of the problems in the Hollywood culture and that. Weinstein and I think the Me Too project came out of that, started out of that. But write me something about this. I don't want to review. I don't want to go point by point who he talks to and what he does, but I want you to analyze it in terms of what we've done in this class. It's very experimental for me to do this, but I want to try to do this. Okay, another extra credit opportunity. You're going to floor with extra credit now. I will give 10 points. God, I should have said 5. Now I said 10. I'm going to say 10 then. 10 points for anyone who sends me a link from an article, from a video, from something very contemporary, like now, that's happened, that reflects something that we're working on in this class. You make the connection with it. You send me the link, you write a little something about it in terms of what's a connection to what we're doing in the class, and how do you feel about it? Right, wrong, indifferent? give me this opportunity because I want to expand. I want to let you help to go for things that resonate with you. As I've talked about before, there's a lot of choices in this course because I think a lot of people resonate different ways. Some people want to learn more about how they can be better in HR, better in identifying issues and cultural issues maybe in their organization. Others that wish to maybe put some of their experiences in the past, put them in some kind of perspective or context. And for us to hear many sides of a diverse group of students, diverse in every way, from occupation to age to ethnicity, et cetera, et cetera. And to be kind of in a safe place here where you can write about these things in your papers, your discussions, it's really exciting. And I think many of you are enjoying hearing different points of view, okay? So that's on the table. All right, I want to point out something that I've heard more than once, and it's called to my attention again recently, and that is the phrase, I don't see color. It is used primarily for those who really kind of want to say, look, I'm not a racist. I don't judge by ethnicity or color. I don't see color. And they always throw purple and orange in there, right? I don't care if you're black, white, brown, yellow, purple, or orange. Always got me, the purple and orange. Uh, but I don't see color. I mean, at one time it might have been a way to approach things, and we've grown a lot even in the last 10 years, let alone from back in my day. But you cannot consider or appreciate, understand diversity unless you do see color. It's a part of it. We see color every day. Look at all that color in my thing here. Look. Okay? Yeah, you see color. We all see color. It's okay. It's not a negative thing. If it is, we got to switch to a positive thing by understanding the richness of diversity, the contribution of different points of view, and the higher level of life that we have an opportunity to be as a country. Let's represent as the U.S. right now, as a community, wherever you are, um, that you can recognize color. It's okay. As long as you're not recognize that color only to prejudge it, stereotype it, place it in a little neat box, or that you'll appropriate, in case you've seen a lot of these news stories of cultural appropriation. Um, we're all growing. It's a very forgiving thing, unless someone's doing it to potentially deceive people, and that's been done. Okay, I don't want to get too far off, but I think those are important things to consider there. Okay, let's change it up a little bit and talk about due dates. I don't think we've had this problem in this course, but in case we have, due dates are based on date. So when you see an assignment written up on Canvas, it says, hey, it's due September 13th by 11:59 p.m. That means September 13th, you got the whole day, you got everything before that, but 11:59, and then at midnight, Cinderella's pumpkin, her carriage turns back into a pumpkin, and it's over. Now, we go by AZ time, where I am. Currently, I'm in Pacific time. Arizona has no daylight savings time, which is so bizarre. So it doesn't matter for you, but next session, we're going to switch right in the middle. And instead of it being 2:13 p.m. Pacific time, I'll be sitting in 3:13 p.m. Mountain time. But it's always based on my time. We can't do it on everybody else's time. We got students all over the world, okay? So what your Canvas calendar will probably say, though, the assignment may be written up correctly. It'd say September 13th by 11:59 p.m. Your calendar, though, if you're on the East Coast, your calendar is going to say September 14th by 2:59 a.m. It's going to match the time that 11:59 p.m. here is 2:59 a.m. there on the next day. But some students just see the next day, go, oh, it's not due till the 14th. He changed it. No, it's still the 13th, 11:59 AZ time. And then adjust your calendar that you see in Canvas, where I think that would be like, like right in here, this kind of stuff. A lot of you see it. It's going to correct it to your time zone, okay? So just be aware of that. It's an important factor for not having late points deducted. We got a yawn. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. All right. Discussion 3. Um, everybody did well. I think everybody did well. The biggest problem, I think, was organization. Okay. And I may get rid of discussion boards altogether moving forward because, frankly, it's a pain in the butt. Some people put attachments on it, and I don't accept attachments. A discussion board, even without responses, discussion board, but I would prefer attachments. I would prefer to get a paper. So that's my issue for later. But the discussion board. Okay, so discussion board 3. Let me pull that up here. OGL 350. Okay, where is it? I'm getting my classes mixed up here. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm so irritated. I just had everything set up, of course. Okay. There's the third paper. Here's module 4. And here's module 3. Discussion. Hang with me. I'm going to miss the exciting part. Okay, there were readings, discussion, videos. Oh yeah, that was the Hidden America one. Okay, now I understand. And then you had a discussion about that. And the thing that doesn't thrill me again is when you send me a giant paragraph. Okay, it's not cool. All right, I'm going to give you just a quick look at what I mean. You see that? Don't make me be the one that has to decide where 1 point starts, 1 point stops, what's going on, because I'm not going to do it. Call me whatever, but why should I do it? It's not, when you see that the discussion board had different thoughts here, different prompts. Imagine that you've been, it gives you the scenario. Then it says identify 3 challenges. 1, 2, 3 is the way to do that, okay? Describe each change. This is not all a big, gigantic paragraph, okay? And it's a discussion board, so everybody can see everybody's anyways. You know what I'm talking about. You want to see it. It's very frustrating, okay? Organization is important. I know you can do it. Just think about it a little bit. You can't do paragraph indents, then you just do either number them and do line gaps, okay? Please, I'm begging you. Easter egg number 1, we're going to go back to that point I discussed earlier. Easter egg number 1 is seeing diversity, acknowledging diversity, okay? So that's what we can do. There's nothing wrong with it. It's part of our life. It's part of our everyday, in this country especially. It's part of our everyday interactions. It's okay to see color. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you see color and it's like, whoa, that's the most important thing I'm seeing. I'm going to car mechanic and I see color. Whoa, I can't. No, that's wrong. That's stereotyping. That's prejudice. That's bigotry. But yeah, you see something. You see color. Okay, look at this. Wow, I got my black koozie on here. I got a red one up there. It's color. We see color. Color comes in people. I used to have good color. Now I'm all blotchy. Okay. Anyways, so let's remember that. All right. By the end of this module 4, students will be able to recognize various cultures, identify bias and privilege related to ethnicity, class, gender, sexual orientation, age, religion, and ableness in the workplace. Again, it's diversity. It's not a tough subject, okay? I mean, it is, but I mean, it's not tough to understand why it's important. So in that sense, I'm already going to give you, wow, Easter egg number 2. Am I? This is way too fast. So remember what Easter egg number 1 was. Easter egg number 2 is acknowledging diversity should be a positive. Acknowledging diversity should be a positive. Too often we make it a negative. And it may not be we, but the royal we, okay? This culture. I mean, we don't recognize. We shudder at the at the word multiculturalism. Ah, what is this, man? I'm watching Fox News. They don't like multiculturalism. I'm sorry to go there, but I'm going there. This country's made up of immigrants. The only ones who aren't are the indigenous. And you probably go back far enough, of course, which I've done. I was one of the first people to participate in the National Geographic deep, deep DNA. I can't remember what it was called. Done by Dr. Spencer. I forget his name. It was deep DNA. And the knowledge I had, this is probably back in 2008, takes you all the way back to the mitochondrial Eve, as they call her, in the Kenya, the Great Rift, I think it is. Great Rift? That would be like a fight, though, wouldn't it? So mitochondrial Eve is, we call her the mother of everybody, because as far back as we go to find a common ancestor to everybody. So mitochondrial Eve is the matrilineal most recent common ancestor of all living human beings. In other words, she's defined as the most recent woman from whom all living humans descended in an unbroken line, purely through their mothers and through their mothers of those mothers. Mothers. Back until all lines converge on one woman. This was okay. So mitochondrial Eve does allude to the biblical Eve, and it is it goes back. She goes back 155,000 years is the estimate as of 2013, consistent with a date later than the speciation of Homo sapiens. So fascinating, and the out of Africa dispersal. So the mitochondrial Eve then it was back in let's see, Kenya. Come on, Kenya. I thought it was in here. I just was driving me nuts to find out it was Great Rift or whatever. I know I'm getting caught on. Okay, it's nothing in here about that. It's something else. I'm an African Studies major. I know this stuff. It's right back here. I got a boatload of books you can't even see. Uh, so okay. So what I'm saying here though is that through science, we're all related back to her. It's a common ancestor we all have. And then as that expanded and they moved across a land bridge at the time to what was Saudi Arabia and then the Middle East, and then things went this way. Okay, they went across to over the Indian Ocean to the Delta in India, all the way to Australia, New Zealand, up through Russia, across the land bridge into what's now Alaska, and down and populating the Americas, north and south. So going back to my point is that we're diverse. I mean, Columbus didn't discover this. That's what I learned as a kid. Columbus discovered this. No, he didn't. He was an explorer. He didn't even get to North America, I think, right? Then he go to the West Indies. And he called it that because he thought it was in India. All right, so I'm just trying to say some of the fear of others is not right because we're all part of the same group, right? Okay, so by the end of this module, we talked about that. Acknowledging diversity should be a positive. Module 4, then, I got to watch Star Trek again. I've been watching the first season of the original. I'm on episode like 13, I think. When I said module 4, it sounded like Rigel 7 or something. I don't know, from Star Trek. I'm drifting again, drifting. Okay, so module 4. Let's get there. I got stuck in your discussion board 3. Once I go there, I got to go through all of them. Okay, so then you got that. You got the quiz. People are doing really well in this class. Good. Module 3 paper. I've got 19 of them to score. I was going to do them before this. Then I thought, no, not. I like to take a little more time to do these. If I am to look at your module 2, your module 2 papers, it looks like it ran a gamut of scores for various reasons. Again, if you're turning it in late, you're giving away some free points. There was a number of 100s, just so you know that it is possible. I was quite impressed by a lot of folks here. The quiz out of 20, it looks like most everybody did really well. Okay, and if you're doing the work, you're going to do well. And overall, just as an FYI for this course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 A's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 B's, 1 C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 D's, and 1 E. E is just not doing work. The D's, you still got a shot, man. There's plenty of points out there, plus these extra credit ones I'm giving. All right, so a lot of A's and B's in this class. All right, so keep it up. It's a tough class. You guys are really doing well. All right, so now Module 4. Here's the big surprise unveiling this week. The Module 4 discussion is optional. It's extra credit, another extra credit thing. I decided to make it extra credit. It's worth 35 points. The reason I'm doing so is because there's a boatload of points in this class, okay? And the course has 1,045 points available. Therefore, the discussion board in this Module 4 is optional. It's worth up to 35, but those 35 are now not in the total, which will show as 1010 points. So it's still showing over 1,010 points. 35 points for this. The reason I'm just making it optional and taking it off is because people might feel bad if they don't do it or if they didn't get to it. I'm just saying do it if you want to earn some points, okay? But if you do it like half donkey, half-assed, don't expect me just to blindly give you 35, okay? You got to do it, all right? So that's the good news there. Now, continuing through Module 4. So the video's 10, extra credit's 35, the quiz is worth 20, and the paper is worth 100. I mean, I'm not saying nothing, but you could do the discussion board for 35 and blow off the quiz is 20, you'd be ahead. But hey, I'm just saying, okay. All right, so there's readings, Module 4 readings. These readings are all based on your Module 4 paper. This is kind of a different animal here, this paper. You're going to interview somebody, okay, from a culture that's different from your own. Read these instructions closely, all right? You need to cite 3 sources from the ASU library online is the way to do it. Make sure those sources are peer-reviewed sources. Make sure they're available online. Make sure you put the link in the bibliography, the works cited. That's where the citation goes and the link. The link does not go in the paper. The link does not go in the paper. Do not hot link anything in the paper. Hot link it in the bibliography. Cite it in text, okay? Now, there's some questions here that you can use or make up your own. You don't have to use all these. Don't be intimidated. There's 41 questions. It's just a sampling, okay? You're going to be tasked with doing like 10. It's a 45-minute interview, okay? It talks about consent. Consent is very important. Informed consent. Okay, okay. Be very clear. You will get a 0 on this. If you interview anybody under 18, you will get a 0. No minors can be involved. Okay? Also, no topics that revolve around sexual orientation, incest, rape, sexual molestation, deviant behaviors, attitudes, substance abuse, and/or substance abuse not included to alcohol, marijuana, steroids, amphetamines, narcotics, cocaine, heroin, any prescription medication, legally or illegally obtained, eating disorders, behaviors, attitudes, practices, conscious work. There's a list here. It's good for all research. We don't have time to get approval on this stuff. You're not researchers here as much as you're doing this interview. So you'll notice these questions are all culturally appropriate, okay? Now, I have to chuckle whenever I see this because back about 8 years ago, I was engaged to a very famous, popular artist from Senegal, painter from Senegal. She's still highly sought after, and her paintings are all over the world in big museums. So we were engaged, and her culture, Senegalese. She was Muslim, but she smoked cigarettes and drank beer, and got engaged. Went over to take her to meet my brother and sister-in-law. They sat her down. I swear, the way I remember it, they like put a bright light on her, like an interrogation almost. That's how I remember it. And they started asking her, like they were probably trying to do something like this. Instead, it came off like this. So, how do you have babies over there? So, what kind of wild animals run around there? So, is there hunting there? So, do you have health care there? What kind of cars do you have? I mean, yeah, the car thing, fine, but really, some of those are just really just totally insensitive. And come on, my brother and sister-in-law are PhDs. Okay, this is just ignorance at the highest degree, and I forgive it. Well, not anymore because I don't speak to them, but it's ignorance because diversity, accept it, respect it. Okay, it's different. Okay, this up here is a batik uh, piece of cloth that I got from Ghana. Okay, I didn't get that from Ghana, but I got that from Ghana where they make it. It's a fab, and also the masks. Um, it's a cultural appreciation, understanding. Okay, but we get there. Okay, so it's not like you need to be there now. You don't have to be there now. I wasn't there when when I went to Ghana with Stevie Wonder, name drop, and shot images and photos and came back with all this stuff like this here, and and I came back and I wondered. It took me a few years, and then I wondered, wait a second, what was I doing there? What was I doing in my images? Was I perpetuating stereotypes? Because I have a photo of the market, women going back and forth, and everybody having something on their head. Is that what I was doing? Was I representing it and showing the culture? Was I giving it the respect it deserved? Or was I trying to be, take a picture of the kid in the bus going, because he's cute and, because everybody knows, right? Little African kids. So you think I wasn't there, I'm trying to get there. I'm always working on it. All right. Again, sometimes I regret all these conversations that you and I have, but it is what it is, right? Oh, please don't lose my job. Okay, so this is an interesting thing that you want to take a look at for this paper. It says prepare a list of at least 10 questions to ask during your 45-minute interview. And there's a whole prep to this, of course, worth 100 points. I think you'll enjoy it. I've seen classes do this, and it seems really cool. Now, the discussion four, again, is the optional one. And you can see that it's pretty involved, but it's interesting, especially in terms of equality. American Association of Women in Universities, they're talking about equal pay. They're talking about a lot of things. I'm not trying to discourage this topic at all, okay, about gender pay equality and stuff like that. I just randomly said, this plus the interview plus this, so like I said, you could do the discussion board and blow off the quiz. I don't care. I mean, it's not going to affect your grade because you're still getting the points. You can do them both. Of course, I'd like you to do them both. All right. The points are still the points. So that's just the way we stand there. All right. And then you've got the 22-minute one audiovisual this time. Let's see, is it Dr. Hirschhorn or Dr.
The following presentation is about acculturation and adapting.
It's Dr. Hirschhorn. Jessica, I'm going to be working with her to redesign this course soon. We're going to take all the best stuff of it, though. All right, and then you got the quiz, 20 points, 30 minutes, and then the paper. Same instructions you'll see that you saw earlier. Their instructions are going to be here. You got until September 19th to be on time. And then after that, it's the fifth module. So I guess we did stretch this baby out to 30 minutes, didn't we? Oh, 29. So Easter egg number 3. Remember those first 2 Easter eggs I said, and this one should go along with it because there is no other. There is only us. Okay, that's Easter egg number 3. There is no other. There is only us. Thank you. Peace. Forks up. Wait a second. Thank you. Peace. Forks up. Cut.